Filmmaking in Nigeria predates independence. Late Orlando Martins was the first Nigerian to act in the movie Sanders of the River. This movie was partly shot in Nigeria. John Amata, Herbert Ogunde, Francis Oladele, Eddie Uboma, Ola Balogun, and Jabadu were some of Nigeria's earliest filmmakers who shot films on celluloid. Following a plummeting economy in the 1980s, this business suffered a setback. The first Nigerian home video, Ekun, was produced by the late Alade Arumire in 1987. Several other home videos were made in the Yoruba language following the success of Ekun. Kenneth Nebue produced a number of movies in the Yoruba language, including Ajeniyago. However, in 1992, a movie director rejected a story Nebue presented to him. This compelled Nebue to approach Chris Obirapo to direct the same story, which turned out to be the phenomenal Living in Bondage.
So him je tige na ko haneze n'olu ehuna enyi gi nka onye shulu ọrụ na o iso boss un wolaji kenume gide.
Before then, I was in Ripples by Ejiro, Zebejiro, who were there shooting soap opera. So it was from Ejiro something. Some people came to tell us about Living in Bondage, and I went to next office where we had the audition.
I went to Enugu now to direct Masquerade for almost 2 years. It was after the new Masquerade when I came back to Lagos. Then I now went to do Memorial Hospital in Badagry. That was when I now went to establish the camp in Badagry for Memorial Hospital. And that was the period, 1992, that the opportunity to shoot Living in Bondage came my way, and then took the opportunity.
Living in Bondage was said to have sold more than 200,000 copies in the first 2 weeks of its release. Obirapo, then an assistant controller of programs at the NTA, directed the film under the pseudonym Vic Modi.
Vic Modi, that's the name of my wife, her maiden name. And you know, in those days, NTA had this policy that if you do PP, private practice, you'll be fired. And to safeguard the work, I had to adopt my wife's maiden name as my pseudonym.
Nigeria's film industry has grown beyond anyone's imagination because Living in Bondage struck the right chord with the audience.
Hollywood has evolved and given birth to a lot of babies that are also doing great in their own respective countries too. So it's a global force.
Right, so far so good. We've been able to take the movie industry, Nollywood per se, to a different level. We've seen growth from the days of pneumatic to Betacam to DV. So technologically, we've upgraded.
When Nollywood started, they thought we were just joking. A lot of people saw Nollywood as one Test by Moonlight setup. But now it's a global voice, it's a global phenomenon. It now earns a global respect.
More than 20,000 films have been produced after Living in Bondage. Not only have the number of the practitioners become household names, but several of them pocket annual endorsements in tens of millions of naira.
Nollywood has made Nigeria proud. We now have our stars as ambassadors. In the past, no company come out and pay a star 20 million, 50 million, 100 million to endorse a product, a brand. But now the new Nollywood has achieved that.
That is good, but then we still have challenges. We still have a lot of things we're not doing right. You know, these days we're beginning to recycle stories as if to say we do not have, you know, enough. We have a lot of ethnic and cultural values we could tap from. you know, and do movies. We have historical stories that we can actually, you know, put in our movies and sell our culture to the world.
I have a problem with the scripting. You have a lot of wishy-washy stories.
The major problem is that we don't have a database. We don't have a database where you say, okay, you do a movie and you can tell that we have over 2,000 distributors and we can sell XYZ. But when you don't have a database, you don't expect investors to come in because you can't explain to them how they intend to make back their money.
They also have problem of sound. What causes problem of sound? Due to power supply. Most makers shoot with generator, and most times the noise enters your work. That's why most times you see films and have sound problem. If you have 20 Nollywood films, 18 are sure to have such problems. You get my point? So sound is another issue in Nollywood. Then piracy is there to be tackled. Films, due to the fact that films are not properly distributed, piracy now coming to tap into the power network of distribution.
A lot of other businesses have sprung up due to the success of Nollywood. For instance, publications that are solely entertainment-driven have become commonplace. The cinema culture has been revived, with Nigerian films being screened alongside Hollywood and Bollywood movies. From inception, a few individuals with foresight have abandoned lucrative jobs for careers in the movie industry. Ememi Song, one of Nigeria's most popular producers, resigned a job in the banking industry to embrace Nollywood. With scores of movies to her credit, she has inspired a new generation of young people who are not afraid to leave certainty for certainty. Looney, a graduate of Agric Economics, is one of such people.
Currently, I work for an advertising company. I do business development for them. And it's part-time. And it's part-time for a reason, because at the end of the day, music and movies and entertainment generally is something that I'm very passionate about. So I worked full-time for a bit, but at the end of the day I realized, you know what, the life is too short, you have to do what you like. But then, you know, one thing about entertainment is sometimes it takes a little time for you to be totally independent. So I'm like, okay, let's work, but let's do it part-time so at least you can still fund some of your own personal stuff. You know, so I think basically that's just the balance I try to achieve. Be able to still make some money to cater for yourself and whatever personal projects you have, and then also have room for your passion. So that is exactly why I chose the part-time field. And at the end of the day, the business development thing I do also gives me some skills that I've also found very useful in the entertainment industry as well. So I guess it works out at the end of the day.
I did not abandon medicine. I don't like to use that word. It's a course I spent 7 years studying, yet to obtain the degree. So I did not abandon it. It was more like I decided to prioritize. I was 16 when I got into university. I think it was more a lack of guidance and counseling. I think that was what the problem was, because in secondary school I was actually very good in literature and English. I was actually a prize winner. So maybe if the guidance counselors had paid a little more attention, you know, they would have been able to advise me to go in the direction of the arts as opposed to sciences. But back then it was all about the professional courses. You know, everybody felt if you were not a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer, you could not succeed. So for me, it was really about doing a professional course, and I thought medicine was it. So that's what it was really.
That's what JAMB gave me. You know how it is in Nigeria, you apply for one thing, you get something else. And I went to school and I realized, you know what, I think this course is actually kind of interesting. So I just stuck with it and I did that.
I don't regret being a doctor. I have the knowledge. I still practice medicine. My friends call me up all the time asking me for health advice. I practice medicine on my family and friends. And like I said, I do pro bono health work. And my parents are very supportive. People would ordinarily think that because they spent a lot of money training me as a doctor, they would not support my foray into entertainment, but they're very supportive.
Probably if I went to school in this time that we are in now, it would have been easier to see a clear future in entertainment. I think at that time it was kind of hard for me to be able to picture and make a clear, get a clear direction and say this is exactly what I want to do. So if it were now, like I said, where everything is much more defined, I probably would have made that decision.
Apart from Married but Living Single, which I won an award for, by the way. Yeah, there was also A Mother's Fight produced by Ochi Jumbo. I've done Finding Love produced by Choma PP, which also stars other people such as Brian Okwara, Mofe Duncan, Ruiki, and a couple of others. Then I've done, there are a couple of projects I've also done which are yet untitled, as yet to be titled. And then there's a hit drama series, Lekki Wives, which is available online right now, and there's currently a lot of buzz about. So those are just a few of the things I've done so far. Currently, I run a 10 to 15 minute health show on the radio. It's on Smooth FM every Saturday morning. I usually just pick a topic that I think relates to the common man, a topic I think they want to know more about, and I dissect it. And then people call in and ask questions. They also send Facebook messages and tweets, and I answer their questions. That's basically what it's about. But I'm also working on getting my own independently produced show.
The first movie I was in was a movie called Hood Rush. I played a rapper in the movie. There's a scene where I do a little bit of a rap. I think in the final movie, there wasn't so much of what I did, you know, but that was like my first real movie experience. And after that, I think about 6 months later or so, I got cast to play a Casanova type, you know, teenage character, and that was in a movie called Heavy Beauty. I had a more expansive role in that movie. I think when I was going to do that, I was a little nervous and all that, you know, having doubts. But at the end of the day, I was pretty happy with my performance in that movie. So I think I would let people watch the movie and tell me if I'm, you know, overly optimistic. I think a lot of times people come up with very good movies, but they're not ready to put so much money into it. And then the remuneration for actors as well is a little on the low side, you know, can be improved. So
it's highly competitive. Sometimes it's not very financially rewarding.
So in the movie industry a few years from now, I'm actually hoping that in a few years I could probably be able to say to myself, I'm a household brand.
I see myself as a household name in 5 years' time.